Hello, now we are live. Welcome to the Ask Your Mentor Anything Live Fridays, every Friday in the Mentoring for Translators group. And definitely you can watch us on YouTube and Facebook, my public page. So thank you so much. Let's wait some people to join us. Let us know if you can hear us well, if the sound is okay, if the picture is okay, so as to know that you can hear us and watch as well. And today's topic, it's something really that we haven't covered yet. So people are joining us. Please use the comments below this video so as to let us know if you can hear us watch as well. And you can always in the description box click on the link so as your name to appear in the comments. So today's topic is a great initiative that Alessandra and Silvia have been hosting for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, in Torino, in Italy. And I'm so happy to discuss that with you. Thank you for joining me, Alessandra, Silvia, Alessandra. How are you?
Fine, Virginia. Thank you for inviting us. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you for having us, Virginia. Everything is fine.
Thank you, Alessandra. Sorry, can you please repeat the last sentence?
I was asking whether everything is fine on your end too. So.
Okay, yes, here, as I've said many times, we're in a lockdown officially, so I'm stuck at home. I have to have a specific authorization so as to go out. So what a better way to actually spend my Fridays with two colleagues that I really had several years now. So thank you. And I'm glad that we found actually the timing, okay, to do it all of us together, because it's always very difficult to find the timing. And
Indeed.
yeah, indeed. And it was Silvia's idea. So Silvia, thank you so much for having this idea to do all of this together, because Alessandra is a speaker of those that I've been asked many times to have as a guest. So it was a great opportunity that you introduced me to Alessandra, and now we have this opportunity to have a great discussion, all of us together. I doubt that someone doesn't know Alessandra, but Silvia and Alessandra, would you like to introduce yourself before we enter our questions from our mentees?
Yes, of course. Shall I start, Ale?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm very glad to be here. It's the first time for me to be live, Yes. I like it. This opportunity, because it's different from all other occasion. I mean, I'm a translator, a freelance translator. I've always been a freelance, so I started many years ago. I should say last century, and it's true because I started at the end of last century. I am mainly financial translator. I also deal with marketing and lately with patents, with medical, because as you know, we move among different specializations, because that's how our profession goes and grows. So I am only a translator. I'm not an interpreter. I translate from English and from French into Italian, and that's all. That's
thank you, Silvia.
What I do.
It's a pleasure and an honor for me that it's your first time. I hope that there will be plenty other times to go live. And Alessandra, how about you? I know that you are into transcreation, and I've read your ebook that you've many years ago, but still it's really up to date. So if you would like to introduce or let us know something that we might not know already.
Okay, well, that's difficult. That would be difficult, but well, hi everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Alessandra, and I'm a translator and copywriter. And I was just realizing last night that today marks my 21st year in translation. So yeah, I started over the last century as well. What can I say that you don't know? Not really sure. As you mentioned, I speak at conferences, I organize courses, and I've been doing that for around 10 years now. So I'm a bit more visible than what I would have envisioned when I started out, because I am actually an introvert. Now
Yeah,
I've
that's
started
interesting.
coping better with this, but in my heart, I am a person that is perfectly happy to live and work in her own little cave and meet people. That's what I like doing. But I've always been more of an in-person person rather than meeting online or doing live presentations, etc. So this is actually not the first time, but not even the umpteenth, because I usually do these things very rarely. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Alessandra. That's
And
what I was about to say. That to online learning. Okay, I'm listening to my echo, or is that only me? Do you listen also my echo? Okay. What I was about to say is that
Fine.
I've missed you lately. I've missed you lately of seeing you either at conferences or online, even though I know that you are very active. So you see, ladies, the comments. So we have Ellen, Angela, Claudia, Abdel Fattah, Mohammed, thank you, Dorota, and I also started my career in previous century. They say here, and hopefully 5 months later we will start our new century. Okay, in the Iranian calendar. So we have people from all over the world, as you might understand. So thank you all of you for joining us. And let's start with the most common questions. And I'm trying to open the form because I saw some people also have filled in the form with questions for you that we will cover today. And definitely, if you have questions about our today's topic or for Alexandra and Silvia, you can definitely use the comments below. We can see your questions and we will address them. We will try to keep it 1 hour, but I cannot promise. But our goal is to keep it 1 hour today. So let's start with the question: how did you start out as a translator? And if you remember, how did you get your first clients? Who would like to start?
Sylvia, it's your turn.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
I didn't break the ice today. I just decided that, so it's okay.
Well, I I started after I got a degree in language. I don't have a degree in interpretation and translation, but in foreign languages. And I started with a very, very small jobs offered by people I knew in the town I lived before. What I can say is that the cornerstone, the turning point of my career, the beginning of my career was a trainship at the European Commission, because the European Commission offered, and I don't know, but I think it still offers trainship programs for young European and maybe not only European people. So I enrolled and I stayed in Brussels for 5 or 6 months. And there at the translation service of the European Commission, there is where I learned how to translate, what is the role of the translator and the role of the proofreader. I really developed the technique, the profession. Okay, so that was how it all started. And when I came back to Italy, they also gave me some contacts with Italian agencies that worked with the commission. Yes, yes, indeed. I was really lucky.
Yeah, Angela says they still offer them. I bet that it's more.
Okay.
It's more difficult nowadays, maybe to get such an internship, but it's nice. Thank you for sharing your story, Silvia. And so your first client, I suppose, after the internship was one of the agencies that you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they asked me, I said that I was living in Turin, and they gave me the names of two agencies in Turin, and I contacted them both, and they both offered me small jobs. So that's how it started. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela, for saying that it still is a possibility.
And you, Alessandra, do you remember the first time that you got the first client,
Oh
paid
yeah,
client?
because it was very strange. So
Really?
yeah, it was, and very challenging. I did started with translation basically in high school. So I do remember when I first started learning foreign languages, actually translating songs or poems just for the sake of it, because I was always driven to, the point of finding the right nuance, the right thing, which can be very complex when you have to deal with some sorts of texts, such as poetic texts or
Yeah.
texts that style and musicality built in, such as, of course, poetry or literary works. And then when I was in high school, I had a German teacher because I studied English and German and Spanish in high school. My German teacher was also a translator. So what she did was actually offering free translation training on translation to the students that were interested in that after school. And she taught us the basics. She taught us how to approach a translation, how to understand what's in the text and what's in between the words, and how to come about with respect of the original, and also with an eye to what the audience would be able to understand and appreciate.
Perfect.
And that was one of the things that impressed me the most, the way that we usually think about translation. And of course we all had some kind of bias or prejudice when we start out, and then you go deeper into a text, and you realize there are layers and layers of considerations and rules, etc. And that free course was, and she did it with all her heart, because she was a translator of literature
Mhm.
and philology, because of course German has a long history of philology. And you could tell that she was really passionate about that, and she kind of poured onto us all that she knew to give us some good basics. Said, you will never know. I mean, when I started out, degree courses on translation and interpreting were rare, so you really didn't have much choice if you lived in a small city or something to go and study translation or interpreting. And that was my base. And I'm still very grateful to that teacher for giving us the opportunity, of course. And I got my first translation in the last year of high school, and it was a philology text
Wow.
about the construction of Greek epigrams by Martialis. So it was very technical and from German, and there was no internet whatsoever back then. So I do remember that because I spent hours and hours at the library just checking in the references and the sources, and of course the translations that were already available for the texts, and
Amazing.
all the technical jargon that comes with philology
Mhm.
and academic works, of course. So it was quite a feat. When I finished, I do remember feeling so much relieved because it was over, and so happy because it was over. And I had her, of course, correct it, because she was about the referral that gave it to me. And that was the first. That wasn't the last, because of course people were happy, so they started asking more and more. And after high school, I started with a completely different career, because I used to be a bank employee.
Amazing. Wow, I didn't know that. You see, you have something to tell us that we do not know.
And but after 2 or 3 years, I just felt that it wasn't right for me, so I decided to build a business around translation that was still in my mind, and I was still doing it on the side because I liked it. And that was it. It was around 2002, 2003 that I decided to go freelance as a translator. And soon after that, I started with copywriting as well, because people ask me, okay, we have this text to translate, but can you also check it before? Or we have something to translate, but we haven't written it yet. Sometimes it happened. And I was lucky enough to live in Turin then, so I had the chance to attend a few courses on copywriting as well in training centers or something like that. So I started building both of the professions along the way, and that's it. I haven't stopped yet. I don't want to stop yet. So that's it.
It's both of the stories are very inspiring, and it's also a lesson to all of us that you don't need to study your studies do not need to be in translation in order to become a professional translator, but definitely the career path. Sometimes the life takes you to a specific career path. It also takes some decisions and some decision of yours, but still it's very inspiring. And Elena says that's ideal how both of you started out as translators. Yes, I bet that it was a bit easier back then to start out as a translator, less competition, maybe also copywriting was something really new, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely it's very inspiring. And do you remember when or if you had any scale up moments? By scale up moments, I mean moments where you were able to charge, for example, double of what you did, or to make actually some great money out of our profession that you feel a bit that you're free, for example, or satisfied with your income, I suppose, unless you have something else to define as a scale up moment in your career, Silvia?
Well, for example, for me, one moment, probably rewarding moment, was when I started translating finance. Because before that, I only dealt with technical manuals. Maybe I don't know if the audience know, but Turin is in Italy is the heart of automotive industry. So many translation agencies, of course, worked with the automotive field, and I started in Turin as that. And the prices were quite low. So taking up a specialization in finance allowed me to change, to charge more, because of course finance is, I don't know if it's more technical, but it's more difficult, and it's training to develop the skill, especially if you don't have a financial background, which I don't have. So you have to build it day by day, reading or studying or proofreading what other translators write. So things changed when I decided, I don't know why actually, because it happened. Maybe I don't know, maybe I don't remember, maybe some friends told me that it was a good field, and I admit that rates changed because I could charge more, and it was correct to do that, because if you have a higher specialization, or if you work in a better field, better paying field,
niche,
it's right, it's correct to do that. Yes.
Yeah, that's great that you share that, because most of my mentees, they ask me like how to choose a specialization or how to become specialized. So your story is also inspiring if they want to. Sometimes you choose the specialization and you get trained, you learn a lot about it, and you also practice a lot in order to become specialized. So thank you so much for sharing that, Silvia. And Alessandra, do you remember any such moments that you had a great project or a great client?
Well, I've had different large projects, or how would you say that, big clients, and I use this word very rarely, because I do not believe that there are small projects and large projects. You might have a client that is more, of course, international. They might have a higher resonance, but for each of my client, or for each client that walks by the door, their project is a big project because it's always about their business. So I do not like considering clients for the size or the volume that brings in.
Okay.
I do like to consider them as people with a project and a passion and a need to bring their business and their work forward. So the most career changing or career defining moments for me were more related to the choices I made compare with regard to what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, or what I wanted to achieve. At a certain point, I decided to invest in a full-fledged diploma in copywriting a few years ago, not because I didn't have enough training up to that point, but because I felt like I wanted to give more structure to what I had studied for the previous 10 years. And that was, of course, a career defining moment because that helped clients see that there was real commitment in a mare magnum of people that do anything and everything, having that kind of reassurance for them. So this is someone that knows their stuff and invests in learning more in order to help us better, was of course a huge career changer because it was more in front of people that I was doing what I felt is right. Because I do not study because I feel that clients need it. I study and keep investing in training and education because I feel this is what I have to do to provide an excellent service.
The best value.
So
Of
that was a
right,
defining moment. And another defining moment, of course, was around 2009, 2010, when I launched my first website.
That's
Because
great.
when you move from the local, just word of mouth world up to the online world, doors open. And I've been able to reach clients that I would have never imagined. I've been working for international airlines, uh, luxury brands that have shops in 80 or 90
Yeah.
countries. These kinds of clients are, of course, more easy to come by when you step outside the local market.
But I have a question. I cannot hold myself. Like, did you get those clients because you created the website? Do you think? No.
No, I do believe that online communication for us as professionals is a good way to promote ourselves.
Exactly.
And of course, if you just stick to referrals that you get from local clients, your audience is always more. If you promote yourself actively on a website, and by that I mean, trying to reach out to clients, creating content or occasions for them rather than talking about what we do in the within peers. If you can create content that resonates with their needs, it's easier to get
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but
so valuable. What you say, it's really, really important because I keep saying that you need to create content so as to attract your clients. And in order to attract your clients, you need to create content that it's related to them, their needs, their pains. You give them a solution to their problems or an answer to their questions through your articles and your content that you create. So thank you, Alessandra, for sharing that because it's really, really important to share how we attract our clients. We do not create a website and the clients come to us. We need constantly and consistency in our action, like to keep posting related articles, posts, to be everywhere online, as you mentioned already. And a website is just a way to be online, but also being present in forums, in groups, or having an online presence through social media, actually blogging,
Yeah.
writing, publicity. There are so many ways that you can actually boost your online presence through a web strategy, which actually my topic later today. We have another live. It's how to create your web strategy. So that was a great opportunity that you said that, Alessandra. And definitely, if you want to get into their clients, because you mentioned that, Alessandra, that you got into their clients, and also Silvia, you, it's really important to have a website at least, so as to get into the clients market, and of course international direct clients, as you mentioned. Okay, so I have so many questions, but I don't have the time. I would like to know more about copywriting, and if you have any resources you would like to share in the group later, Alessandra, about someone who would like, for example, to become specialized in copywriting. If there are any online courses you would like to share, or any articles and links.
Sure.
For copywriting, because I know that there is a need about that. And last question, because before we entering our topic, is if you have, what is your most efficient, if we can say, client acquisition strategy? So you mentioned, Alexandra, your website or word of mouth, and also Silvia, you mentioned that someone told you, for example, that there is this market, for example, where you can charge higher. But actually, is there any strategy that you do consistently, like?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, LinkedIn is the most useful channel to attract new clients. Really, being on LinkedIn, it's not only having a profile, of course. Being on LinkedIn is, as you said, posting interesting contents, which don't have to be necessarily new, but you can also share contents that you find on the web that are relevant, that are new, that are interesting, okay, in order to create your audience, and following people that are relevant to your field, to your specialization, or to your services, and also sharing colleagues' contents, because I don't think that colleagues are enemies. On the contrary, they are.
Schools about LinkedIn. Those that they say you need to delete all your colleagues, and there are those translators that they see colleagues that are also partners or potential clients, and they still have them in their network. But I've seen that's two different directions.
Yes. I'm on the second side. Okay, I think that colleagues are maybe not partners, but not enemy, not for sure. We work in the same fields, in the same markets, but there's space for all of us. I think that as long as we are skilled, as long as we work cautiously, there's nothing to fear. Okay, so if I read an article written by you which is interesting, I share it, and it will be a mutual interest. Okay, so we both thrive. LinkedIn is very good.
So you get clients.
Yes.
Cool.
Clients, I mean, agencies, because I work mainly with agencies, and they contacted me over the year. It's a long process. It's not a process that gives immediate results. It takes months, it takes years to get noticed and to receive proposals. But it really works.
And
definitely.
Also, it will become faster through LinkedIn rather than any other, I think, nowadays platform. So even if it's a long-term process, I think it's the fastest way to do it is by being on LinkedIn, definitely nowadays. Okay, thank you for your insights. I find like if you are missed the live, you can actually watch the recording, or if you can watch many times, because Silvia has shared many different ways that you can use LinkedIn to actually attract your clients and make them contact you and get clients through LinkedIn. So definitely go back and watch the recording, because Silvia mentions one very interesting tactics that you can actually implement on LinkedIn so as to attract at least the attention of your ideal clients, and why not to be contacted by them on LinkedIn. So thank you, Silvia, because I really love LinkedIn. I really believe in LinkedIn myself. Alessandra, what is your opinion on it?
I do not use LinkedIn.
Okay, yeah. This is
I mean,
why we need to hear something different. Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
do have some agency clients that come to me through the first step of watching my LinkedIn profile, but over the last 2 years, I've been switching more and more to the direct client market.
Mm-hmm.
I nowadays work 95% with direct clients and 5% with agencies.
Mm-hmm.
And just to put it plain and straight, I do like working with agencies. I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing that for the first 20 years of my life, and that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
There are just two different markets. And nowadays, I'm switching more and more to transcreation and copywriting rather than translation per se. So it's just that these kinds of services work in different ways. They have different audiences. So my business is changing, and so the client acquisition strategies. LinkedIn used to work pretty well for me 5 or 6 years ago. Nowadays, I mainly get my clients through word of mouth and my website, and lately personal branding on Instagram, which
Aha, okay, that's great. That's great.
I only use it for my Italian clients. So I decided to diversify my audience in terms of languages. It's also because I noticed that different kinds of people I work with use different media and different channels. So I decided to use different platforms with for different kinds of clients. But I do have to say that internet online marketing now is the way I get most of my clients, and word of mouth, because
Okay.
when you work
Online
directly,
marketing.
somebody's happy, you're bound to have more people coming your way.
Mhm, mhm. Definitely, that's the goal. But because the competition is higher and higher, and some people they're starting out or they restarting out, so they need to start from somewhere before they reach the word of mouth. Definitely, online marketing really works, but online marketing can include so many things. For you, you mentioned online marketing is your website and Instagram right now, or you could include other platforms as well.
Well, I do have a newsletter
Okay.
that works pretty well, just to keep people abreast
Nurture.
of what you're
Yes.
doing. So
Nurture the relationship with your audience.
yeah, email
Okay.
marketing is also a good way. I
Mm-hmm.
do. I decided to focus on a very small number of channels and platforms rather than being everywhere and anywhere, because I do not have the capacity and I do not have the stamina to be online all day.
Exactly,
To be
exactly. And
completely honest, because it's lots of work and it takes so much commitment to create content, share content, not constantly, because I do not think that you need to be there every day, but consistently. So
exactly.
having a plan and sticking to it, it requires so much brain power and creativity. And so to me, it's not feasible to think about a day when I have to be on 5 or 6 different platforms. I decided to focus on the website because, of course, it's your own real estate. When you publish something on your website, you have complete control over it.
Copyright.
Whereas if you publish on Medium, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or any other social channels, the moment the rules change,
Mhm.
the very same moment, all of your efforts could go to waste. Maybe you have invested, months and months on one platform, and then the algorithm changes and something else changes. So I do work on building traffic on my website and interest from there, and then move on to the online to email marketing, or just discovery calls, getting in touch with people.
Amazing,
So
amazing. Okay,
Okay,
I cannot sum up the different strategies here, the secret behind of that, but definitely what I would like to focus of what you said. For me, it's really time consuming the content creation because it needs creativity that it cannot be like machine to happen. So if I would like you to take away from what we said already is that you need to focus one or two platforms to create content
yeah,
that's related to your clients, to keep as priority for your online presence, your website, because there you have also the ownership of what you're writing, and you can monitor that better than any other platform. And definitely find out what I keep telling is that find out where your clients are or hang out online, so as to decide which platform are you going to spend more time and actually invest time there and effort to actually create content for those platforms. And then, of course, as LinkedIn and email marketing, as Alessandra and Silvia mentioned, are great ways to get clients, and also discovery calls, cold callings, for those that they're good at phone calls and getting into direct contact with their clients. That's also a great way when you want to enter the direct clients market, definitely. I would really like to ask something before we enter out. You mentioned that you are introverts, and I know that both of you are. How did you overcome? I cannot help myself. It's a very common question I get when I go to lives and give speeches. They tell me how from introvert you became like a public speaker, and also Alessandra, you mentioned that you're so many at conferences, but you are actually introvert, and also you, Sylvia, you initiated this initiative for the branches with Alessandra, but you yourself are also an introvert. So if you have any advice how we can actually overcome that fear and
it's a hard question. Try, try, start with the little things, and for example, many years ago, when I realized that I wasn't connected with the translation world, with colleagues outside, I was always working from home alone, and I felt the need to meet people, to participate in events for translators. I attended a conference in Turin, organized by the university. So it was mainly for students, but also for translators and interpreters. And I went there. Was full of people. The room was full of people, and I didn't know anybody, so I was on my own. And during the coffee break, I was alone, sipping my cup of coffee, and a very sweet lady, which later I understood was a deacon from the university, asked me why I was all alone, and I said, because I don't know anybody. And she said, okay, you have to open up, you have to start talking to somebody. Okay, that day I didn't. Okay, I was on my own, but something clicked inside, and the following the time, I don't remember when, I started talking to somebody. So you have to self-train, because I don't think that there's a formula, there's a strategy. I don't believe in strategies. Do what you feel like doing. Try to step out of your comfort zone.
Exactly, that's the secret.
A little bit. You don't have to
Step by
start.
step. Yeah, step by
Yes, step by step, and little by little, it will get better. And the second suggestion, the second idea is age, because when you grow older, it's easier to at least there are some advantages that come with age.
maybe you become more confident, or you know your
Yes,
limits
yes, yes.
better.
You're more confident.
You know that you do not have anything
Yeah.
to lose, and
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's exactly that. You're more confident maybe in yourself as a person, as
Exactly.
as a professionist. So, as you said, you have nothing to lose. Just try, and probably you will never be as good as the introvert, but you can find
The extrovert, you mean the
your
extrovert.
space. Okay. Yes.
I have a similar
Um,
story to share. The first time I went to an event, I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't share any business card. The second time I talked to one person, I got some
yeah.
business cards. The third time, I was able to actually give one business card. And I remember that it was a scaling at that effort. It wasn't easy. So
Exactly.
for no one is that easy unless you have it, okay, on your own. So Alessandra, I'm also
Yes.
very curious to know about you because you are also a public speaker yourself. So you've taken like another step.
Well, I have to say that when it comes to offering speeches or training course, uh, knowing that I'm doing something and sharing something that I know and that is helpful to other people really helps with
Mhm.
overcoming that. Because when when I was first asked to present at the conference, and it was now 2011, so
Mhm.
it's been quite some time around. I was very nervous about that, and I get super sweaty and anxious before talking. Also nowadays, I
Still?
have
You
to,
still? Okay.
yeah, I still have to take my 30 minutes of alone time before a talk,
To
so that I can,
concentrate? You concentrate?
yeah,
Okay.
get together and yeah, and focus. But so doing something that you're passionate about, and or going to places where you know that you will find some peoples that are like you, or
Mhm.
you have some kind of common background,
Mhm.
really helps. I do remember my first translation conference. It was 2009, and I was absolutely in tune with the fitted carpet, because I was just lying against the wall and not talking to anyone until a lady, a translator, I still meet nowadays and I'm still in touch with, came to me,
Amazing.
said,
Amazing.
"Okay, so this is your first conference, right?" And she was very direct. And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, so come with us. We won't bite."
Do you
And then
remember what conference was that? Do you remember the conference?
I think it was the Pros conference in Vienna, 2009.
Mhm.
And and from there I started, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm here to explore. And of course, I noticed that there were lots of people that were actually like me, being the last person in the back of the room or something. So I do believe that there are a lot more introverts than we tend to consider at any kind of business or non-business event. It's just a matter of stepping outside your little cave bit by bit. And one tip that I can definitely give, which is also why we're talking today, is buddy up with someone that is
Study.
just
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
an introvert as you, because Sylvia came up with this idea, what we're doing right now here,
Mhm.
after a conference we attended together. And
Aha, that's great. Okay,
yeah,
conferences bring people together. So conferences were the how this all started. So thank you. Let's get into our topic actually, since now
yeah.
you can. Okay, so if you would like to
And
start how
I
this
said,
idea, yeah.
how about we do it together? Because I am an introvert, you're an
Mhm.
introvert. We're not really people that like to go out on the internet and shout about what they do every day. So why don't we just, team up and try to do this together for the fun of it and for the pleasure of it. So
It-
finding someone that is as introvert as you and is willing to take the chances with you can really help you.
it's
So
easier. becomes easier. You share, if we can say, the part of it, like feeling like
And
that.
then,
Yeah.
time does the rest. When you
Hmm.
start getting out, you're not the last person that came to the place anymore. You're not the newbie anymore. After a bit, you start uh, considering yourself a bit more confident because you already made the first step. So you just take a second. It comes with time and patience, and also being kind to yourself. So I do like going to conferences,
Mm-mm.
but even at conferences, I have to take, that those times by myself. So I go out and smoke a cigarette by myself, or I just take a walk around the block if I'm feeling overwhelmed by all the conversations, etc.
The
Go,
networking.
yeah, yeah. I am one of those people that when comes back from a conference doesn't talk to her partner because I've been talking to people for 2 days.
Same
So
here. Same here. Yeah.
yeah, just try to preserve your room and your space to breathe and take a break when you feel like it, because it's so important. And then you can manage your introversion and your social anxiety much better. So
Thank you so much. I find it really helpful. And I see some great comments, but I cannot see your name. So ask Alessandra and Silvia and me to be able to see your comment, your name. Actually, you have to click in the description box next to this video, the StreamYard link, so as to allow us, give permits us to show your name. So I see some great comments, but I cannot show them because I don't see your name. So you need to click that link in order to give us the permit to show your name. Thank you so much for the participation. So let's get into our topic, because we've been talking about this initiative, but we haven't presented, and all of us, okay, we know it, but let's other people that are watching us right now to get them know what is this initiative about. And Silvia, you would like to
Yeah.
mention the idea you had and how you created actually and how you implemented this idea with Alessandra?
Yes, as Alessandra mentioned, it all started on the train back from Pisa. In
Wow.
Pisa, we attended a conference. I don't remember if it was La Giornata del Traduttore or Italiano Corretto. They are two events related to Italian language and to the translation world. We were so excited after 2 days being among so many colleagues that we wanted to recreate this atmosphere. How can I say? We said, why don't we do something in our city? Why don't we set up a branch? We thought about a branch because a branch is something very informal, where everybody can have whatever they want and stay together around a table and have conversation and meet, first of all, because I was in Turin. I moved to Turin in 2000, in year 2000. So I didn't know so. I didn't know so many colleagues. I only knew maybe 5 translators in Turin, and I was sure that there were many, and so did Alice. So we said, why don't we try to launch this idea and see who will be happy to participate, who feels the same need of being together, of talking, sharing time together without a specific project topic in mind. Okay, there's not what comes. It may be talking about our profession, maybe our clients, maybe also maybe about travel, about family, about food, about whatever.
Maybe also irrelevant to the translation business topics. Great. And what was the frequency of those branches? Once a week, for example?
No, unfortunately, no, because it takes time to organize. We don't want it to be something that puts pressure on us. Okay, just when we feel relaxed and we have a couple of weeks free, then we phone each other and we say, okay, why don't we organize? Usually it's in autumn and in the spring, possibly twice a year if we manage. Okay,
Okay, and
but not
what's the duration of such meetings?
well, a couple of hours, Ale, is it? Usually we say from noon until 2 p.m. But then if somebody wants to stay more, of course we can. It's just the time for lunch for. Can be quick. Someone arrives late because somebody comes from outside, so they come by train, and of course they have different time. Or somebody has to leave earlier because they have a meeting, they have lessons at university, they have a delivery. So there's no problem. It's totally free. Okay, there is no expectation.
Informal way of networking, open to students, translators, interpreters, language professionals.
Sure.
I'm describing. Sure. And they usually are a couple of hours because a lot of Italian people are watching us. So definitely you can reach out directly. I guess Alessandra and Silvia through the group, they're members in the Mentoring for Translators group. So if you would like to learn more about how you can actually participate, and if you're actually in the touring, it would make sense in their area. To get to know this initiative and to meet each other, and why not to get this opportunity to make it a bit more frequent? So why not? After COVID, of course, now.
Of course.
We were lucky enough to be able to organize a brunch in between the two lockdowns.
Oh, man. We did it during summer?
Yes, in October. Yeah. It was in October.
We found
before the COVID, before the lockdown.
A small window. We found it
where we could eat with, the safe distance, etc. There are a nice number of restaurants and places where you can do that safely. So we decided to say, okay, let's get together, because we had people calling us or texting us.
Yes.
When are you going to organize another?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what really makes us want to go out and about again and again. Because when you do it the first time, we got a very positive reaction on the first time, and we just started putting up a Facebook event page and inviting the translators we knew already, and just saying, if you know somebody else that might be interested, add them to the event page. Extend the invitation for us. It's just a way to get together. So
yeah, that was my next question. How do you bring those people? How do you organize it? How do you invite those different people from students, translator, colleagues to actually join you? So you mentioned you create a group, Facebook group or Facebook page?
Yes.
Facebook event.
Yeah, we just create the event page. Well, both Silvia and I have a fair number of translators amongst our Facebook contacts. So we just start by adding them and adding the people that came to previous events and wanted to keep up to date. And then we just leave people the opportunity to invite other people. Because, when you organize 2 or 3 brunches a year, the people live over the rest of the year. They meet new colleagues, they meet new people that might be interested in what we do in the profession, or just in knowing a little more about what's in it in the translation and interpreting industry. So we just create a Facebook page and decide on a date, of course.
Yes.
Ask people to confirm if they are willing and able to come 4 or 5 days earlier. So Silvia, who is our top a selector of food delicacies, goes up and arranges the menu with the chosen place, and then that's it. On the day, we organize a pickup point at the station, so that people that come from outside of the city can join and walk together to the point.
Oh,
And
that's
then we
nice.
our brunch and chat, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, if you're watching us
Not
and
really rocket science.
sorry.
It's not rocket science. I mean, it's
No.
Yeah, no, I was wondering if people from other countries, the other cities, they can come. So actually, you mentioned that. So if you're outside Turin and you want to join this event, you can actually come. This is why I ask you.
Of course.
Yeah. So definitely,
we're not picky. We people from other cities around Turin, other regions. We had colleagues coming from Switzerland.
I would
Yes.
come from Greece. I would come. It's a bit
Oh, please.
I will send an invitation then if you tell me you're okay. I will invite you definitely for next time.
Thank you so much. We have Elena. Elena Furasoli. She says how we can reach out for those who are not on Facebook. So there are people watching us on YouTube right now, and they would like to reach you through LinkedIn, maybe. So Alessandra, she hasn't the LinkedIn, but Silvia, can they reach you out through LinkedIn, and how they can reach you out?
Yes, of course, they can send me a message. If they want to participate to brunches, they can write me a message and I will add them to the next event. Yes, there's no problem at all.
And you, Alessandra, if someone would like to reach you out and they don't have Facebook, which means
I do have a LinkedIn profile active. So I'm not really an active user, but I do have a profile, so you can reach me out there. Or you can reach me on Instagram.
Okay, so you can definitely find Alessandra and Silvia on LinkedIn and also Facebook and Instagram. So that was great. I have some questions in the form. Is there anything else you would like to mention about those branches that you haven't yet mentioned? Is it something that you would like to add?
Well, we can say that we don't belong to any specific initiative. Okay, it's our idea.
It's independent.
Totally independent, and it means that we are not bound to cover topics or to invite some people and not others, or to respect a timetable. This is the reason why we like to be independent, because
you keep it informal.
It's easier.
It's informal.
Yes, we keep it informal.
Having a brand,
but
colleagues.
Yes, but this is a setting for very often for very useful cooperation that comes out, because
that's the question. Let me ask you the question, because this is the question that they asked me. So, but also apart from informal networking, what I get from your descriptions here, both Alessandra and Silvia, is that it's also an informal way of mentorship. So someone, if there's a young translator, a student, by joining such events, they can actually ask questions and get answers from two other colleagues that they are successful in what they're doing, so they can share their insights. So it's also not only networking, but also a way of mentorship in an informal way, unstructured way.
Yes.
So Silvia, to help you continue what we were, so Elena, she included 3 questions in the question form, and thank you, Elena, for your question. So one was the thing that you were about to say. Have you ever developed a long-term collaboration with any of the people you've been mentoring or participating in this event? Is that a common practice? Okay, common practice.
I can't talk for the others. I can talk for myself, and I can say that I started nice cooperation with colleagues. I mean, maybe spot collaboration and not long-lasting or continuous. But I knew people I can rely on when I need a help. When, for example, a couple of years ago, an agency I worked with offered me a translation and proofreading task, and they wanted the proofreading to be performed by a colleague. So they asked me to provide also somebody else for the proofreading. And so I thought of a friend, I can say, a colleague that I met during our brunches, and I asked her if she, a couple of girls, not just one, I mean, two colleagues, I asked both of them if they were available, and one of them was. So we ran, it was quite a big project together with mutual satisfaction, and also as far as the agency was concerned. So
Yes.
it's not the target, it's not the idea, but of course it's the place where these things can happen.
Amazing, amazing.
Definitely.
Is there anything else you would like to add, Alessandra, or you want me to continue with the two next questions?
Well, I guess Silvia said it all.
Okay.
I have experienced good cooperations with people that probably I didn't get to know firsthand there, but at brunches we deepened the. No, sorry, I'm just starting to mix up the words. To develop a relationship or some kind of acquaintance. So I have cooperated with people, and also when a client has a need that I cannot fulfill because I translate or write in very few language combinations and very few specialist areas. And sometimes the clients needs a legal translation done, and I wouldn't know where to start. But you have contacts, people
network.
and you can exactly you build a network, and it's not about thinking of the long-term ideal relationship, but more of being of service when you can, and also helping other people expand their reach.
And it's professionalism for me also to have solutions for my clients, even if I'm not the person who can actually undertake the project, to be able to refer someone who can actually help them out. And also the secret here you mentioned, Alessandra, is to build relationships. So the main goal by participating in similar and such events, like the brunches Silvia and Alessandra organize, is to actually have your mind to build a relationship rather than participating in such events to get clients or to get projects or for a specific purpose. Just to be yourself and build a relationship. For me, that was, Alessandra, really important. But both of you described it, but you made it really clear. So Elena says also networking with their clients, how to find the important events for industries related to our specializations worldwide, because you mentioned, Alessandra, that you have online, you find online international clients direct, but you didn't mention any conference or events. So I assume this is not your cup of tea.
No, I personally haven't met clients at translation related events. What I do is actually attend events for freelancers or businesses in general. So just expanding our views. When you think of translation bound events, they're not really the place for me, because I cooperate with a small number of agencies. So I'm not making any active outreach to agencies nowadays. Again, it's not bad or good. It's just that it's not what I want to do right now at my stage.
Yeah, it depends on what are your goals and what you want to achieve by participating in such events. But Alessandra, how do you find those events so as to help Elena? So if someone wants to find events for their clients or businesses, as you mentioned, or other freelancers, how do you identify the good vs the bad ones, and where do you find them online? Do you have any tip on that?
Well, I guess Elena is Italian, so one good way to do this is actually checking out board associations, or well, they're not really board associations, but organizations like ACTA, which is the organization of freelancers and people that work in the third sector.
Mm-hmm.
So this is already transversal. They have open days. They support freelance bound events such as the freelance camp or the freelance day, which takes place here in Turin. What I aim to is actually things like how do you call it? Things that are bound to my interest as a professional. So training courses about business aspects that are
Or your niche. Your niche, for example, if your niche is legal translation, find events where your client
Yes.
train
not
themselves.
exactly,
I know.
because in my experience, well, I do translate mostly marketing
Okay.
and transcreate and write
Mm-hmm.
marketing materials.
Yeah.
So my clients come from all different sorts of places.
Yeah.
I work for coaches, health practitioners, small businesses, e-commerce owners. So these people, I can easily find them in events that are bound to professionals in general rather than translation
Translation.
professionals.
Definitely. That's really
Try
clear.
to
Yeah.
broaden the spectrum a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Also, start if you're aiming for direct clients and you translate into Italians, you might want to strive for events abroad, such as there is the marketing world conference, things like
Wow.
that.
Mhm.
That might be appealing for you as a
Yeah.
professional, because you will walk away with things that you can implement for yourself and for your business, and meet people that are there for the same purpose right away.
Mhm.
What I do when I attend events is not just going out with a bunch of business cards and try sticking as many as possible in every person's hand. I just go there to learn and to
Exactly.
be an equal. When you don't try to push yourself or sell your services to someone that doesn't even know you, it all becomes easier. What I usually say in my courses is that the conversion, the dreadful term conversion that is so common in
Mm.
the online world, actually starts with a conversation. And it's a small difference, but if you want people to connect with what you do and trust you enough to do business with you, you have to come across as a human, because people don't buy from the marketer or the TV seller. They buy from humans they know and trust. So the first step to building that trust and to enter a sales conversation is actually engage in a real life normal day conversation.
In a natural way.
In
In a
my
natural way.
experience, of course, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that this is the truth, but it works really well for me.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, and it really helps me also to overcome, for example, what we said before, the fear of going. When you attend an event where you actually learn things there, it's a CPD event, like in your niche, for example, and you meet there your direct clients, it's easier to start a conversation. Also, if you don't, or if you fail in networking, you can actually leave this event by having the knowledge that you learned and maybe a certificate by attending. So Elena says, great advice. Thank you, Alessandra. Is there anything you would like to add, Sylvia, before I continue to the next and last question?
No, I don't have any particular suggestion right now.
Maybe the last question is, I think, Elena, is a whole topic that we cannot address in a few minutes, but I will read it. So Elena says, how to approach and talk to colleagues, mentors, and potential LSPs or collaborators. What register should we use? Best time to contact them during the day, week of the year, and do's and don'ts when contacting potential collaborators, mentors, LSPs. So I think that would be a whole topic of a discussion, Elena, but I don't know if Sylvia would like something to add or Alessandra.
Um, well, I don't know if I'm getting it right.
You can read it in your screen.
In live events, you can find the best moment to talk to somebody, which is, of course, in networking session, can be during lunch, dinners, coffee break, whatever. And as Alessandra said, it is very important, in my opinion, is showing yourself for what you are. Okay, present yourself for what you are, because this way you will feel at ease with yourself, and the other person will perceive you as authentic, as real. Because if you try to be someone else, be differently, it will sound fake. How can I say?
I totally agree with you. We need actually
So
to listen to our instincts.
be natural, and try to approach the person, considering it as a person, not as the CEO of a company or as the product manager. Don't think of that. Think of a person.
Okay, that's great.
He or she is just a person, okay? There for the same reason as you, or for their own reason, but they are attending the same event, so it's supposed to you to have something in common, okay? So you can try, and this is what you can do for live events. Or you can try and get their business cards and write an email after, when you come back after the event, and saying, I heard your talk, your speech. I listened what you said. I was very attracted by your opinion. I would like to show you mine. I would like to share with you something. You can try to start a conversation with this potential client.
Yeah, and also on
That
LinkedIn,
can be.
maybe it happens even more natural rather than an email nowadays. Adding them on LinkedIn and send them a really kind message where you can
Yes, following their page, okay, commenting on the posts that they share. It helps you gain visibility.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one of these occasions they will get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
It may happen.
Yeah. Elena, we cannot, there is no answer, one fits all here, I suppose.
No.
Is there anything else?
How can?
That's definitely is not fit, so how we say that answer we can give you here, advice, because it has like colleagues, mentors, potential LSPs, collaborators, or day, week, year. So it takes into consideration many aspects here, the question. Alessandra, you would like something to mention? Yeah.
If I may give some pointers
Yeah.
about this. Of course, this question is so elaborate, and I don't believe that there is an answer that gives, a one size fits all, because the best ways or the best tone to use when approaching a potential client also strongly depends on the specific industries they work in and what are the costumes there. I'll give you a quick example. I have clients that text me on WhatsApp, finding out my number out of nowhere, because it's absolutely common for them to send a text, a work-related message on WhatsApp on your private phone at 9 p.m. on a Saturday evening.
Yeah, I had even worse. I had even worse cases. Share, they called me on Viber from the UK clients in the evening on a working day, calling me on Viber. So no. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is not how I roll. What I do consider polite still in these days of ultra connection. If you're writing for work, stick to normal business hours, Monday to Friday, and not later than 6 p.m., because people have lives and just as much we like the fact that we can have a private life, other people like that too. So what I do consider a don't, if you're pursuing a professional relationship, stepping in the private hours of someone is not a good idea to do that.
But can I ask you a question? It is the same, for example, if you send an email or a message on LinkedIn? Is it the
Pardon?
same? Is it the same when you contact them via email, for example? Because I used to say, I send, for example, emails or LinkedIn messages on a weekend because I just find the time there. But do you feel the same for emailing?
No, emails are different because they don't require or grab your attention. Whereas, going for the instant messaging on Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever is stepping into more private area. So emails are okay. If you're fine with sending your outreach emails on a Saturday, you can do that. Just don't expect the other person to react on a Sunday afternoon, because it might not be the case. So the big do's and don'ts, I think it's try to be polite and always considering that you are not the center of the world for that other person. So if you send a message on a Saturday, allow them the time to respond to a business conversation on a business day. Or things like, I'll give you an example. I need this via LinkedIn. I did have one thing like that on LinkedIn a few months ago. A person I had never talked to, a junior translator, sent me a message, say, "Hi, I'm looking for this. Can you help?" And she was looking for books on copywriting, and I just replied.
Not very polite. Yeah. That was not very polite.
No, but you don't introduce yourself. You don't tell me how are you or something.
Of
I do remember then 6 hours later, she sent me a follow-up message saying, "Did you see my message?"
Okay.
That is a big no-no, in my opinion.
You see, I feel that sometimes we talk about common sense, things that are common sense, but still we need to tell them, because there are some people that we need to hear them or to know them. So definitely thank you for that. So ladies, is there anything else you would like to add in our discussion? Because we're almost 1 hour and 20 minutes live, and thank you so much. The time flies. Alessandra, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, but in a nutshell, use your common sense and approach people the way you would like to be approached and you would be comfortable with. Don't be more pushy than you would probably be happy to stand. And that would be a very good starting point, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you, Silvia. Thank you, Alessandra. That was a great topic. So any of you that you are watching us right now and you're in Italy and you would like to attend such an event, it's a live event, you can totally actually directly contact Silvia or Alessandra. They are going, I guess, to organize it after the lockdown sometime.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Yes, really.
And thank you all of you for the great discussion, for your comments, your question, your interaction in the group. Silvia and Alessandra are members in the group, so you can continue the discussion in the comments, definitely. Thank you so much. And if you missed the live and you just tuned in, you can always watch the recording in the Mentoring for Translators group on my YouTube channel under my name, Virginia Katsimpiri, and also on my Facebook public page. And I saw that we were also live on LinkedIn, actually. So, Silvia, you can share that there as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I wish you success with this initiative. It was such a pleasure to have you and have such a great discussion. I wish we had more time, and hopefully in the future maybe we can organize a live again with a different topic if you are into that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Virginia, for having me. Thank you, Alessandra, for being with me, accepting being with me.
You're full of ideas.
For being you. And that says it all. So,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
thank you, Virginia, for inviting us today. It was a
Thank you
pleasure.
both of you. Thank you both of you for accepting my invitation. Thank you, Silvia, for the great idea. Thank you, Alessandra, for your generosity in sharing all of those insights and your story, both of you. So you can watch the recording later. Thank you, all of you. Bye bye for now and see you in the group.
Bye.